All right. Thank you for all that are joining. Thank you for all our panelists that already on board. We so much appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for our moderator and the coordinators of Publish and Prosper. And my shout out to all the members of ACE community and our community utilization lab Africa. Thank you all for being here. Like we all know, we are bringing experts, iconic researchers from different systems so that we can have an holistic understanding of what academic mentorship is all about, and we can also bring all this the diversity to unify the whole thing, and every one of us on this conversation can be able to have a feel of what is it like in my own system, whether the research institute or the university or the poly or monotechnics. So thank you all for being here, and we are going to kickstart the conversation. So Dr. Bright, over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. Good afternoon,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
I welcome everyone yet to another very impactful episode of our Distinguished Knowledge Sharing Series today, Publish and Prosper episode 5. And I want to welcome you all to this special edition. And by the grace of God, this edition will be very insightful, judging from the team of panelists that we have today that cuts across different systems, which cuts across both the research, the university, and the polytechnic. So as we begin, I welcome you all and I urge you all to pay attention to all that will be said today, and also note your questions down. At the right time, you'll be giving room to also ask your question from the audience, and our panelists are also here to do justice to the subject matter of today. And we also know very well that this academic journey is not just only shaped by our knowledge, neither by our qualification alone or our personal effort, but also by guidance, encouragement, and opportunities that we receive from other persons. And there's a general saying that, whether we like it or not, we must also gain direction from other persons as we journey this academic life. We enjoy shared experiences. We also get honest feedback from other persons. All of these will now help us to avoid mistakes as we journey through this particular line, knowing fully well that without mentorship, this line is not as easy as you think. Yes, experience, they say, is the best teacher, but not in every profession, if you agree with me. But to many scholars, mentorship remains unclear, inaccessible, and completely absent, while some scholars are unsure of what genuine academic mentorship means, how to find the right mentor, or how to build a healthy and productive mentorship relationship. Others may have experienced relationship described as mentorship, but they lack clear expectations, mutual respect, or genuine commitment to their growth. This makes this academic mentorship an important conversation for us all today, as this will go a long way to also assist us in our chosen line of career. So at this moment, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to Publish and Prosper episode 5 with the theme academic mentorship, the what, the why, and the how. The beautiful thing about today's theme is that it is something that will also help us to also shape our journey. And if we are postgraduate students, to also help us to also enjoy some mentorship from our direct boss or our lecturers. And again, today on will be very insightful because the panelists cuts across different academic settings, which is the university, the polytechnic, and the research institute. All of these different academic settings will be doing justice to the subject matter of today. And our goal is not only to, explain academic mentorship, but also to help participants understand how purposeful mentoring relationship can shorten the learning curve and reduce avoidable mistakes and support meaningful academic growth. Our panelists today will share their experiences, lessons, challenges, and practical recommendations. We encourage everyone to listen with an open mind and reflect on how mentorship can become an intentional path of their own academic journey. It interests you to note that today, by the special grace of God, I'll be anchoring this particular program as the moderator. My name is Dr. Bright Erume Bibi. Currently, I'm a principal research officer at the Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research. And joining me are three distinguished panelists who will be doing justice to the subject matter of today. And today, as I've said before, we are privileged to have a distinguished panel, that is representing different academic settings. We also have, among the panelists, we have a seasoned researcher, an academic leader from a research institute, currently serving as Assistant Director of Research with extensive experience in research, leadership, and the development of other scholars. Among the panelists as well, we also have a senior lecturer from the university system, bringing experience in teaching, research, academic development, and the mentoring of postgraduate students and young academics within the university environment. And as well as we also have another senior lecturer from the polytechnic system whose perspective reflects the reality of mentorship within a practical, technical, and professionally oriented academic setting. You will agree with me that these diverse, collective panelists that we have today will be doing justice to the subject matter, and with their different systems that they are into, the university, the research institute, and the polytechnic, you will agree with me that justice will be done to the subject matter of today. And together, our panelists will offer, a rich combination of their experiences, because their experiences will be brought to bear today along their chosen field. Because today, we're not just telling you the meaning of academic mentorship, they are going to share with us how their experiences have been, how they've journeyed from their, from the least level in their journey to where they are today. All of these experiences will be brought to the fore, and to also, make us now also see things differently from the way we used to see them. So we are deeply grateful to have you all with us today. And I must say that their preparedness for today is something I deeply cherish and respect. I thank you all once again for joining us. And as we begin today's conversation, whether you are a postgraduate student seeking guidance, an early career academic trying to find your footing, a mid-career scholar looking to grow and assess new opportunities, or a senior academic committed to developing others, you are in the right space. Today's discussion will help us have an understanding of the subject matter, and it will also go a long way to also assist us in how far we've gone as regard our journey in this particular space. And on behalf of the Academia Cafe Elite community, I welcome you all to episode 5 of Publish and Prosper, where we give the real talk and bold insight. At this moment, I want to also bring to the fore our panelists, and each of our panelists will be introducing themselves to us. They'll be telling us their names, academic field, institution, and what as well as inspired them to join the academia.
So what we have next is the panelists will be introducing themselves, telling us their names, academic field, an institution, and also telling us what inspired them to join the academia, and one reality about academia that shocked them. So, Mrs. Josina, we have you first to tell us.
Okay, thank you, Professor Tom. Thank you, my moderator, my distinguished panelists and colleagues. Good afternoon. My name is Mrs. Obiajima Justina, senior lecturer in the Federal Polytechnic Education. I'm a food scientist or study food science and technology, but a special area where I specialize is in food microbiology and biotechnology also. What really inspired me to join was a combination of my passion for learning, teaching, research, and the desire to make a meaningful difference in the lives of others. I said what inspired me to join academia was a combination of my passion for learning, teaching, research, and desire to make a meaningful difference in the life of others. Actually, before now, when I was an undergraduate studying my third year, I like reading books. I like reading books. So I never thought for one day maybe I'll enter into academia because I like reading. Once I read, I would like to teach. Even to the extent I have to starve myself. When my dad gives me food, I have to starve myself, trade, and make sure that I got books to read. To the extent that there was a prof, the most senior in my institution then. He comes to me to take book as in my third day. I was in my third day. He comes to take books for me to make notes of NIS students, just to tell you the extent of my love for books and reading. I've always believed that education should go beyond simply acquiring certificates. It should develop people's ability to think critically, be able to solve problems, and continue meaningful society. Academia provided me with an opportunity to participate in that process. As a progress in my academic career, I also became increasingly interested in research. I discovered that academia gives us the opportunity to ask important questions, investigate problems, and generate knowledge that can address real challenges in society, especially my like food science and technology. It's particularly meaningful because our work connects directly with food safety, nutrition, public health, and food security and innovation. With this experience, I have to come to realize that one of the most rewarding parts of academia is not only what to teach or publish, it is the people we develop. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Justina. Thank you for even giving us in an expressive manner. Thank you for that introduction. And now we are moving to Dr. Akaize. Please, Dr. Akaize, you are going to tell us your name, academic field, and institution. You will also tell us what inspired you to join academia and as well one reality about academia that shocked you. Thank you, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, my very esteemed colleagues and all those who are tying into this program. My name is Dr. Namaka Keze. I am a biochemist, nutritional biochemist, monogastric nutritionist. I have a PhD in monogastric nutrition and agricultural biochemistry from the University of Benin. My area of expertise is in alternative feed resource development, in feed management, nutritional studies, and everything that goes around animal production, particularly as it involves the use of nutrient materials to enhance the development of these animals. Growing up, I would say my delve into academics is more of how I grew up. I had a father figure that was a professor at the time when I was quite young. Yes, he was a professor of biochemistry, and as such, I always liked how he talked, how he carried himself, how he conversed with family and friends. And so from a very tender age, I was able to decide that this is what I want to do. I want to be like my uncle, as it were. And so that was why I got into school. I did my first degree. Immediately I came back, I did my master's degree, and I did my PhD. So I had about almost 11 years of straight schooling from the day I entered undergraduate, because that was just the drive. So it was more of a mentor of sorts I saw in him, and I wanted to be like him. And after I finished, I got into academics that I've always wanted. But like you said, there was a shock for me. And the shock was when I got into the job, I realized that the job entails much more than just teaching, examining students, grading scripts, and all that. I found out that there was more. I had to write papers. Now, that was That was not something I knew about until the late hours of my PhD program. I knew I had to write papers. I had to attend conferences. I had to take on administrative tasks, sit in committees, do other assignments that are not directly tied to the classroom, as it were. Now, that was honestly a shocker for me because it made me realize I had to do all this in one breath while executing my task as an academic. So for me, that was the shocker, but I was able to adjust immediately. I got into the system, and I'm here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Akaize. I think for a larger part of academics, that was a shocker for them. Thank you for being here. Dr. Bright, you can pick it up from there.
Thank you very much, sir. And I want to thank our panelists for introducing themselves. I want to begin this conversation with this first part of the theme, the what. A lot has been said about the panelists. You agree with me that today we have a panelist that is well sophisticated for the subject matter that is on board for discussion today. So as we progress, you get to enjoy all that we have in stock today. And as they do justice, you also agree with us that they are really in for business. Thank you all for joining us once again. I will quite appreciate your time. And as we progress now, we'll be beginning with the first item on the theme, which is the what. The academy we know is a system, and this system functions, based on healthy relationship. So, and many academics do not find it easy to operate in the academic system by themselves. So that's why mentorship becomes key. You agree with me that without mentorship, to really navigate this particular space is not an easy thing. So on that note, I will begin my question with Dr. Akaize, sir. How would you define academic mentorship? And what relationship does it have with supervision, coaching, sponsorship, or occasional advisor?
Thank you very much, Dr. Bright. For me, I would summarize academic mentorship to be a professional relationship, a relationship that is between two primary participants. We have the mentor and the mentee. The mentor being the advanced or seasoned academic who provides guidance, support, knowledge, encouragement, sponsorship for the lesser or the young academic. The young academic in this case is the mentee. And the whole essence is for the mentee to develop skills, confidence, grit, and all he or she would need to navigate the academic world. Now, this mentorship is very, very important because academic is a world on its own where just knowledge alone does not suffice. The mentee may have knowledge, but once he is not grounded as to how he or she would navigate the curves, as it were, it becomes a problem. So, the mentorship is a program that is geared towards providing the mentee with all he or she would need to navigate the steps, as it were, in academics. Now, it's broad. It's broad. So I want to summarize what I think academic mentorship could cover. First of all, it covers academic development. It wants, in this case, the mentor encourages or teaches the mentee how to choose research topics, how to improve his or her writing skills. Remember, the whole essence of this conversation is to publish and prosper. Now, how is he or she to publish? How is he or she to improve his or her writing styles so that he or she does not get turned down or rejected by reputable journals? The mentor also encourages or help with career development. In this case, we're talking about advising the mentee on career planning, promotion, how to go about grant sourcing, grant application, how to register for and attend conferences, because the whole essence of academics also is to be visible. How do you help your mentee become visible vis-a-vis attending conferences, and seminars, and ultimately helping the mentee come into an academic society, which we want to call a network, providing the mentee with the network needed for him or her to thrive. Teaching and learning too would be included in this part of the conversation. Now, in this case, the mentor, the seasoned academic, help the mentee to improve his or her teaching methods, course design, student assessments, and general management of the classroom. In this case, if the mentee is a young academic and not just a postgraduate student, if he's a young academic who is now having classroom experience, you teach the person how to manage or navigate his or her classroom. Professional networking too. The mentee will need all the support he or she needs, and that support and network is something the mentor already has. So by the mentor taking the mentee under his or her wings, he introduces him or her to the network. By network, we mean colleagues, research collaborators, professional association, and the likes. And the goal is to make the mentee become visible. So I would like to summarize it as saying that the mentor-mentee relationship it's more of a developmental relationship that spans a fixed period of time. And the whole idea is to nurture the mentee in a scholarly, professional manner such that he or she grows in the profession and ultimately become a seasoned mentor himself or herself in the future to mentor somebody else. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for for that insightful information that you have brought to the fore as regard what academic mentorship really is. A lot has been said, and we know that from what you have said now, we'll also be able to enjoy some information that will be of relevance to us as we progress. Thank you very much, sir, for that insightful information once again. The next question will be going to Mrs. Justina. What should mentorship look like for academics?
What mentorship should look like for academics? I said the relationship is between two persons, the mentor and the mentee. So mentorship should be a structured developmental relationship, not simply an older lecturer giving advice to a younger one. It should be goal-oriented. What does the mentee want to become, whether in research publication, grant writing, networking, career progression, and leadership? It should also look like it should be individualized, that is, being designed around a particular need, goal, strengths, weaknesses, career, stages, discipline, institutional content. Academics are at different stages of development. We have the newly employed lecturers that may need assistance in lesson planning, classroom management, assessment, institutional procedures, and all that. We also have the mid-career lecturer, may already be a good teacher and have several publications, but may need or may be on an independent researcher program. We have the senior academic, may need mentorship on research leadership, managing research teams, institutional leadership, mentoring younger academics. It has to be the doing thing, not just talking. That is what it should look like. And it should include constructive challenges. What are these constructive challenges? Maybe to understand what they're doing or what they are doing well, what they need improvement are, why it needs to be improved, and what they can do differently. Also, it should develop the whole academic, and it should also progressively create independence. That is what I have to say concerning what it should look like. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma. From what you have said now, we have a clear understanding of what mentorship stands for. It's indeed a developmental process that the mentee has to go through, in the hands of the mentor. Sometimes in the line of the academic, so the person has to nurture this mentee in different aspects. So along the line, the mentee will now also get to learn a lot in the process that will now make he or she better shape for the, the assignment or the job that is ahead. Thank you, ma, for your contribution once again. But one thing I want to also plead with our panelists to please relate all these issues that we're bringing to the questions with your life experiences, how the mentor relationship has also helped you, how you've enjoyed it, how it has been, how it has made you, advance along your line of profession. So all of these, because the true life story has a way of also, influencing or affecting others. So we thank you for your contribution thus far. So we progress further. We move to the next line of conversation, which is the why. Dr. Akeze, sir, why would you say that academic mentorship matters to building a resilient academic career?
Thank you very much, Dr. Bright. I would say that academic mentorship plays a vital role in making sure that the young academic build a resilient career. I think I mentioned earlier that academics is a lot. It is much more than just having functional knowledge about your core area of competence. In fact, I would say that it's less than 40% just what you know. It is more of how a system works. It's about how the system works. And so if it is about how a system works and you have a young academic who just came into the system without a mentor, he or she would be lost, as it were. In my own case, when I came in, it was quite a lot to take in at the time. Suddenly realized I had to write papers. I suddenly realized I had to teach courses, realized I had to supervise undergraduate students or be part of a team that supervises undergraduate students. But the good thing is that I have a mentor. I had a mentor who assured me, because in the first few months, I was able to air my seeming apprehension that this seems to be like a lot, because this is not the picture I painted in my head before I came in. But he told me that these things will be sorted out in time if I just want to learn. And so I followed through and I learned. Now, the truth of the matter is that without academic mentorship, Dr. Bright, it will be a big problem, because each institution has its core way or core value system, the do's and the don'ts. Now, without a mentor, the young academic will have a problem navigating these fine lines, as it were, without running foul of anything. The goal is for this person to become better, but he cannot do it if he's just, how do I put it, trying to find his or her way in the dark. Now, without it, it is the core of it all. Nobody comes into academics and achieve everything on his own without somebody guiding him. Now, if someone has an academic mentor, it will help the person develop quicker. Mentorship, among other things, helps the individual to stop or not waste time. You do not have the luxury of doing trial and error, learning with mistakes. No, we do not. With mentors, you are giving clear-cut directions, guidance, or guidelines as to how to navigate certain situations. If the person has a mentor, for example, the person becomes confident. You are just in a new system where you are young and everybody is up there. Now, confidence is required. Now, that is what a mentor builds into a mentee. The confidence and the reassurance to navigate the system, the consciousness to be able to publish, as it were. Now, we're talking about publishing and prospering. One of the very first information I got from my mentor when I came into academics is that not just any journal is good enough. That was when I got to realize that you have so many predatory journals. Now, if a mentor does not teach a mentee what to do, the mentee may just find him or herself spending time doing quality research, writing up these papers, and just throwing it open or throwing it to a predatory journal. Of course, we know that there's a lot of journals out there that are just out to make money, that don't make or don't meet good standards. Now, that is where the mentor comes in. He guides this one, how to publish, how to seek for grants. When I came in, I realized that you can't just sit in the comfort of your room and learn how to write grants. I had a mentor who is fantastic in grant writing. He has won several international grant scholarship, if I were to put it like that. And this man also took me under his wings and schooled me, both formally and informally. I learned from him what must be done, how I'm to be guided, how I'm to move in order to navigate this complex world of academics. The truth is, without the mentors, there is really very little that the young academic can achieve. There's very little the young postgraduate student can achieve. Even if he's able to achieve it by himself, he will take 5 or 10 times the time because he's going to be learning by trial and error. And that is what mentorship takes out of the equation, the loss of time. We become emotional when we lose out, but the mentor cuts this out for the person if the person is ready to work with a mentor. So I don't think there is any way around it. Without mentorship, moving in academics will be very, very difficult. I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for that very insightful, orientation as regard what mentorship and the resilient nature of what you stand to enjoy from mentorship. Knowing fully well that those wasted time will not be there. You will not enjoy a short learning curve. It also build confidence in the mentee, because when you have somebody ahead of you giving you direction, there's actually no cause for alarm as you progress. And that guidance that you enjoy have a way of, making you navigate very muddy waters as fast as possible. So I want to thank you once again, Dr. Akeze, for doing justice to that, sir. As we move further, the next question will go to Mrs. Justina. Why is mentorship lacking in our institution today? And what can be done about it? Mrs. Justina, ma'am.
I'm hearing you. But before I answer that, there is an experience I want to share.
Okay.
When as a new employee, I was let me just say introduced to the senior lecturer in school there. So the most senior lecturer in the department, I was assigned under him. So they said before I could be able to teach, I had to go with him to classes. So I was going to classes with him for the whole section. You understand? Before I was able to enter the class. That is exactly what mentorship is all about. Then another thing, he put me through on how to award marks and scripts, how to mark scripts and award exact mark to exact question somebody must have answered. So that is what mentorship is all about in that aspect. So until maybe for a while, I learn how to pick up and do the things on my own. Even before then, when I was assigned some courses, I was still going to him. We're still going for classes at the same time before I was able to stand on my own. Now, your question is.
Before she comes on board, we'll continue. You agree with me that mentorship is key, because whether you like it or not, anyone that has enjoyed mentorship along his chosen line of career has a way of prospering as fast as possible along that particular line. I am not in the university, I'm in the research institute. When I also came on board, when I was employed, I also enjoyed mentorship from my senior colleagues. And within a very short time, I was able to understand what the division was into. And all of these also helped me to be able to know how the division relates with the work of the institute. So at the end of the day, where I would have been grappling and thinking of what to do or trying to read what is happening, I was just seeing somebody was just giving me direction on what it takes to get some things done. So mentorship is key. Experience is good, but mentorship is far more than experience. So you can also hear from our team of panelists today that mentorship has really affected them in their chosen field. Just as Madonna said, when she got the employment, she has to also be under somebody as a mentee over time to see how teaching and learning is being done. And at the end of the day, she was able to grab the message. And this message today has helped her grow in this line, up to this level of being a senior lecturer. Just like Dr. Akeza has also said, he has also enjoyed another one from a very senior professor. All of these things were able to shaping him over time to now, be ready for the work ahead. And today, he cannot relate to anybody and say that without mentorship, the numbers of time or the years that will be wasted will be enormous. But all of these were saved in the process because they had direction from the beginning of the business. So the question we're asking is that why is mentorship lacking in our institution today? And what can we do about it, man?
Okay. It goes like this. The first one is mentorship is often not formally recognized in the institution. They're not recognized in the institution. Many institutions assume that it's just senior academic will naturally mentor the junior academic or the junior colleague. But mentoring requires time, commitment, and skill. The second one is heavy workload. Just like my fellow panelist said, that when he entered, he assumed less than what he saw. This heavy workload is just teaching, there is research, provide students, examination, even administrative duties, committee meetings, accreditation meetings, and all that. Mentorship becomes something that they do not do when they have spare time. Understand? When they have spare time, that can be able to mentor students. The next one is they sometimes confuse supervision with mentorship. That is what is lacking there. A lecturer may supervise a student's project or thesis without actually mentoring that person. Being head of department does not even automatically make someone a mentor. The fourth one is there will be no clear institutional framework here. There is no framework in this mentorship, mentee and mentor relationship. If an institution has established who should mentor, who needs mentoring, how mentors are selected, what mentors are expected to do, how often they should meet, how progress is assessed. The mentorship depends largely on individual goals. The next one is wrong mentor mentee matching. Understand? Sometimes a mentor assigned becomes seniority rather than suitability. Most senior academics is not just necessarily the best mentor for every person. Another one is fear and power imbalance. A junior academic may be reluctant to tell a senior academic that he or she has a problem. The fear of being perceived as incompetent or difficult. You understand? The next one is some senior lecturers may never mentor, maybe they've never been mentored in their lifetime because of this is not being structured in the university and doesn't have framework. So they overlook so many problems and all that. So how can we solve this? Simply by starting, we establish a formal mentorship framework. How do we do this? The institution should develop a clear policy or program defining the objective, eligibility, mentor responsibility, mentee responsibility, define duration, meeting frequencies, and all that. The second way we can solve that is to conduct needs assessment. Before assigning mentors, ask academy, for example, need appropriate mentoring, teaching mentors, research mentors. That is why we have different mentors. We have the teaching mentor, research mentors, and that is where the networking comes in mentorship. The next one is to match mentors based on their needs, not just rank. Like what I said, the most senior lecturer those days, that was the person they assigned me to. Or in as much as he's quite experienced and I learned so many things from him, but there are some that don't even know what they are doing, but because they are highly ranked, they will not have to tell them to mentor. which is not a proper thing to. There's something to solve is to train the mentors. The mentors need to be trained critically. Before appointing someone as a mentor, provide basic training on active listening, giving constructive feedback, setting goals, handling disagreements, confidentiality, and all that. Then the next way we can solve it is give mentors time. Give mentors time, or they give the mentors are already impossible workload programs. Probably they fail in their job and all that. So many things to do. When your maintainer comes, do not tell your maintainer that you don't have time. There's so many things to do. It's your spare time now that you want to like engage in him. And with that spare time, that person might not understand anything at all. The next one is create different mentoring pathways. For example, early lecturer or early career academic pathway like the teaching, research, publication, institutional orientation, research development pathway, leadership pathway, postgraduate supervision pathway, and all that. Then we now go to the last one, which is measures outcome, not meeting. An institution is also under this framework for concerning administration because this problem mainly lies on institutional framework because institutions they don't recognize this mentorship relationship at all. An institution should not say or try to like they will just have to like guide the mentee, provide teaching, improve teaching, develop research competency, publish quality work, submitted grants, establish collaboration, improve supervision, progress personality, and all that. So this is just what I have to say on why mentorship is lacking. And
Okay. Thank you so much, Ma. I think you have dealt with a lot of areas talking about why mentorship is lacking in our institution. You've also talked about the need for a framework to define the pathway for this mentorship. And mentorship should be something that should be formally recognized because it will go a long way to also build our institution. It's not something that should just be done informally. It should be something that is a must do, if I must use that word. So thank you, ma'am, for also doing justice to that. And I also want to let us know at this moment that we already have Dr. Edwin on board. Dr. Edwin, sir, please, you may introduce yourself very briefly before we'll continue, sir.
Okay, I'm Dr. Edwin Okobo, a research scientist with Nigeria Institute for Oil Palm Research, NIFO. Over the past few years, we have been helping people find solutions to their problem in the area of soil management, land evaluation, and also mentoring people in the area of agriculture, especially in the palm industry. So that is what I have done in these past few years, and I'm very happy to be a part of this program. Thank you so much, Dr. Erwin Bibi.
Thank you so much, sir. Now that you are now with us, let me just take your question straight to you right away, sir. How can someone recognize a genuine mentorship and avoid exploitative relationship in the name of mentorship? So I want you to also relate this thing with how far life has been with you, how you've also enjoyed mentorship, how you've gone out of your way to also get mentorship along the line. So how can one recognize a genuine mentorship and not an exploitative one, sir?
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I will start with the first one. How can somebody identify a genuine mentorship or a genuine mentor to mentor the younger one? For me, I would like to share more from my personal experience and also relate it to what I have experienced or what I've heard from others. To be a genuine mentor, the first thing is one, as a mentor to a mentee, you must have a very good relationship. It must be somebody that is willing to give his best, somebody that is open-minded, to give actual guidance with minimal complaints. Gives you that a genuine mentor gives you direction. It guides you properly. It does not throw problem back at you. When you request for solution, it gives you a clear direction, not taking the question back to you. For example, you are asking somebody that is mentoring you in an academic setting. For example, oh, please, I have these challenges. It will say, put up a good write up for this or that. No, a genuine mentor will want to see that he sits with you, guide you through a process. He does not just throw an assignment at you to go find solution to. No, a genuine mentor is very compassionate, a compassionate person that is willing to give his best at all times. A genuine mentor is somebody that guides somebody through a process. A genuine mentor is somebody that is willing and ready to mentor somebody that will be better than him. A genuine mentor is not selfish. A genuine mentor is not afraid that somebody he's mentoring or his mentee will come and outshine him in future. No. A genuine mentor wants to see all his mentee outshine him in future, becomes leader. So if your mentor does not have this kind of quality, is having an internal rivalry in his mind, it has a jealousy spirit. There are some people that you'll be working under. You may think that they are guiding you through, but when you begin to progress, when you begin to see light in what you are doing, they are afraid that you may come and take their place. By the time you spend something like that in your mentor, know that the person is not a genuine mentor. He's not willing to see you progress. He's not willing to see you become a leader tomorrow. A genuine mentor wants to see you at the end of the entire mentorship exercise. Oh, you'll be proud that that person was one of my students or was national stage or whatever stage the person may be. So a genuine mentor does not have internal rivalry spirit at all. He gives his all without reservation. These are some of the qualities that you look out for when you are going to decide who will be your mentor in the professional circle. Then the second one, you've asked how I've been able to have also find out my path over the years. Yes, for you to also be a good mentee too, you must be willing to make sacrifice. You must be willing to also take instruction. You must have the spirit of, you must clothe yourself with the spirit of humility above all. You must be willing at all times, not look at what your mentor is getting from the effort you are making at all. You don't need to look at that if you want to be a good mentee too. So all these are some of the attributes that you possess for you to be able to enjoy good mentorship from a superior professional colleague or a superior academic colleague or a superior person in the industry where you are practicing. So some of these attributes, if you have it, you will also be able to benefit more from somebody that is mentoring you. And over the years, in my own experience too, I have had mentorship across different fields. For me, in academic, I have my academic mentor. In the industry, I also have my mentor too. And in this mentorship race, it doesn't mean that your mentor must be either an older person. No, you can also mentor some persons, maybe an older people in your area of expertise. The person may be older. I might even be a professor. There are some persons today that are also working with me. They call me their mentor because of the expertise I also have in a particular area. We are also mentoring them in that area to acquire that knowledge and have that capacity too. So that is how it is, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that very erudite, insightful information that you've also brought to us this afternoon. And a lot has been said in recognizing mentorship. And again, the mentee must also be someone that is willing to be mentored, because one thing is that as we talk about the mentor, the mentee also has a lot to also, a lot of qualities that will also make this particular mentorship an easy one for the mentor. Thank you very much, sir, for doing justice to that, sir. Let's progress further, sir. Okay, I think I'll also throw the next question to you before I'll go to other members of the panelists. Sir, what is the place of academic mentorship as regard access to opportunities, including grants, collaborations, and invitations? Dr. Edwin, sir.
Okay. Yeah, the place of academic mentorship in that regard is one, before you call somebody your mentor, it must be somebody that has seen it all. To a very large extent, the person has gone far in the industry. It has access to opportunity. It has access to relationship. It has access to link outside the places where you as a mentee cannot get to. If you have an academic mentor, to a very large extent, like what I have enjoyed, for example, when I was doing my postgraduate program, my supervisor wasn't just a supervisor. No, there's a distinction between the supervisor and a mentor. Supervisor will just help you see your program through and is out of the picture, except you wish to continue with him, or you are in the same line, or you have same work, you are practicing in the same industry. Like for me, for example, I have enjoyed mentorship within my academics circle where I did my postgraduate program and in my research area too. The place of an academic mentorship in that area is that your mentor is able to link you to opportunity where you can ordinarily not have access to. And two, he is able to introduce you properly. You know, there is a way you create opportunity for somebody, and there is also a way you introduce the person and make and that will enable the people he's trying to reach take him seriously. So if you do that, if you have a good academic mentor, he is able to introduce you, create a platform for you, create a shoulder for you to stand on, especially in reaching out to grant, either through his professional colleague, his contemporary that he can link you to. Because I enjoyed that when I was doing my program, when I got opportunity of working in the lab outside the country. It was just through my academic mentor. With just singular introduction, everything that was required for me to have access to that place was just made easy for me. If I was to go through the entire process as Edwin, it would have been difficult for me to access such opportunity, if not for my mentor. With good introduction, he granted me an access to reach out to the world with ease. And also, it's also good for if you have a good mentor in the academic circle too. It gives you an opportunity to also publish your work in good and high impact journals that will increase your visibility to the world. And through that too, getting grants and getting opportunity to also practice in so many areas becomes very easy. And three, if you also have a good mentor, for example, it can also give you opportunity to do good consultancy. Because before you are able to get recognition in a particular field, you must be somebody, either it comes through either introduction or by holding of hands into a particular circle. There's a particular professor I work with now, is also my mentor in the area of consultancy too. There is hardly any project in this country that is not aware of. So by my relationship with him, through my academic mentor who introduced me to him, it becomes easy for me to practice in so many circles. There are projects I have participated in.
Before you will join us again, a lot has been said as regard mentorship, and again, we also enjoy a lot from mentorship, especially the mentor, to be precise, where it should be is somebody that has seen it all, and somebody that will also give you some good links, and also link you to opportunities, introduce you properly to the outside world, where you'll be taken seriously for some very, very serious jobs and all of that, and also make you publish in high impact journals. And consultancy, you also enjoy consultancy in different jobs as far as that person is there to constantly continue to link you up. All of this enjoyment you also get from mentorship. So as we progress further, before he will come on board, we'll move straight to the next conversation, which is the how. I'll go to Mrs. Justina. Mrs. Justina Ma, how best should one approach a potential mentor?
Okay, thank you. How best one should approach a potential mentor is one, you should be able to know what you're looking for or the area that you want to embark on or what you have in mind. And now look for the mentor that is able to give you what you want. Once a potential mentor is identified, expectations should be discussed openly, like the goals, the frequency of meetings, responsibility, confidentiality, and boundaries, because this thing has expectation and boundaries, which you and your mentor, and the mentor and the mentee supposed to attain, or how progress you be evaluated. You understand? The right mentor is not necessarily the person who has achieved the most, but who will give you the value of what you needed at that particular time. And this mentorship relationship or something is something in a lifetime, within a period of a time and even a lifetime. So the mentor may agree to provide guidance on the research, development, and publication, while the mentee agrees to come prepared. All these things are what you and your mentor or you will be expecting that your mentor will give you or will be able to make you all about. The expectation should be reviewed periodically. A mentoring relationship is not static. The needs of an early career academic will change as they become an independent researcher. When you must have seen your or made your request or your area to your mentor or whosoever that you see that will be of use to you. You approach, and when your approach is not just like, excuse me, can I? No. You approach in such a way that will I be able to, or will you be able to mentor me in such area like this? When the thing comes up and you see that that mentor is not able to give you what you want, there is a room for renegotiation. You can negotiate that you don't need so, or you need an extra or higher mentorship. That is where this networking mentorship is all about. You have the teaching mentorship, you have the career mentorship, you have the leadership mentorship. So all these things depends on what you want, or what you need, or the exact area that you're going to. That make you to know the particular mentor that you needed in your career. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for
Hello.
that. Hello, sir. Okay, Dr. Edwin,
Okay.
we'll get you on
Sorry.
board again. Just a moment, sir. The next question will go to Dr. Akeze. Dr. Akeze, sir, are there expectations and boundaries to be observed in mentor-mentee relationship, and how should they be established? Dr. Akeze, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bright. You know, in every relationship, there's expectations, both from the mentor and the mentee in this case. And also, any relationship that don't have clear-cut boundaries, abuse or exploitation becomes inevitable. So it's very important that boundaries, clear-cut boundaries, as well as expectations are observed in a mentor-mentee relationship. Now, the main reason why this is done is, like I mentioned, it will result in exploitation. You know, we've seen certain kind of relationship, mentor-mentee relationship in some institutions, where you get to see the mentee, in most cases, taking on tasks that are, how would I put it, far from academic. You have a situation where a mentee, for example, is running errands. You have a situation where mentee is doing things totally different from what he or she is supposed to be doing. That is because there is no clear-cut boundaries. Now, when there are no clear-cut boundaries, this person is just attached, the mentee is just attached to the mentor. What you have is that the mentee will become anxious. You know, the mentee becomes over-reliant. And when the person is over-reliant, the person is overworked, burnout is inevitable. The person becomes sad. Timelines were never set. And as such, you see, 1 year, there's nothing to show for it. 1.5 years, 2 years, there's nothing to show for that relationship. Now, also, it also affects the mentor too if there is no clear-cut boundaries. If there are no clear-cut boundaries, the mentor would feel the mentee is not serious. He or she is not coming up with anything. And because he or she is not coming up with anything, he terms him or her to be unserious. But that entirely is not the mentee's fault because there were no clear-cut boundaries that are set. Now, in the academic setting, there are some clear-cut boundaries that must be established for this kind of relationship. First and foremost is what we want to call the availability boundary. Now, you see a situation where a mentor would demand the availability of the mentee almost 24 hours in a day. By that, I mean the mentor becomes upset if there's an email sent, for example, by 4 a.m. and the mentee did not respond. You want the mentee to be here, here, and here, almost at your beck and call, totally eliminating the mentee's personal life. Now, that is the downside to this relationship if there are no clear-cut boundaries. How often are we going to be meeting? What is the duration of our meetings? What are the take-home from these meetings? These clear-cut distinctions must be set from the word go. The scope of the work must also be determined. Now, what is the mentee-mentor relationship about? Is the person a young academic? Is the person a PhD student? Is the person an MSc student? Is the person needing mentorship because he or she needs exposure to grants and conference sponsorship and all that? On the basis of the needs of the mentee, because the mentee knows what he or she wants before he or she goes into that relationship, the chores, the scope of work must be clearly defined. And if the scope of work is clearly defined, it is easy to spot out abuse when it is coming up. The communication too. How is the communication? What is the established channel of communication in that relationship? We know in this part of the world, there's not so much the mentee can put forth in establishing these rules, but it is important that it is established because we want to balance the power dynamic here. In academics, the power dynamic exists. We're all in the academics, and we know that the senior academic has, in some cases, we've even seen some people who put forth godlike aura over junior academics. And so it's important that the junior academic tries to establish these boundaries. Now, it is a two-way cord. Both of them must come to an agreement. What is the channel of communication? Is it phone calls? Is it meetings? Is it once a week? Is it twice a week? What is the duration of these meetings? What is the goal? What is the expectation? There should be timeline to results. After 3 months, should the draft papers be ready? Should they be ready to be sent out if it's for a journal? If we are writing for grants, for example, after 4 weeks, would the draft be ready? There's also a very critical part of mentor-mentee relationship that must be clearly established. That is the reward system. The academics, everything or most of what we do ends up in journals. That is the goal. If a research is properly done and is not properly published, it's almost no work done, Now, when a mentor coaches or guides a young academic, a mentee, to write, to research, draft, and publish, what is the reward system? The reward system here is who claims ownership of what? Who becomes the primary author? Who becomes a co-author? Now, this must be established, and this is where proper mentorship also comes in. The mentor wants to guide the young academic and encourage him or her to grow via the reward system. You don't want a situation where a young academic would go through all the hassles, all the training, all the rigors, And when it's time for a publication, for example, the academic's name is totally out. Or if he's there at all, it is somewhere down the line. Reward is both emotional and physical. The young academic may not grumble out, he may not complain out, but deep down, he or she will not feel fulfilled. And if he or she does not feel fulfilled by that reward system, it is very likely that he or she will not put in their best to proceed. So it's important that standards, it's important that boundaries, Rubicons be set. Because without Rubicons, without boundaries, you'll not be able to establish whether you are making progress or not. You'll be able to eliminate awkwardness. You'll be able to balance this power dynamic that occurs or exists in the academic system. If we do this, we'll be able to navigate. I, for example, have been one who has benefited a lot from mentorship. I've come this far under quite a reasonably short period of time because I have mentors who would encourage me to publish, who will help critique my journal, my articles, who would join me in several kinds of research. We even have some mentors who would criticize my statistical analysis at times. This result seems somehow, and we have senior colleagues, for example, who will take out time to, in some cases, run the statistical analysis again, just to make sure that they are error-proof. Now, we have these ones, they will go through all this and would encourage you to publish it, not just in any paper, but in a high-impact journal. Now, whenever I receive this kind of prodding, this kind of pushing, it encourages me to do better. I stand here and I look at how far I've come. Truth be told, it is more than 60% the work or the assistance of my mentors. Like the panelists before me mentioned, if not for his supervisor or his mentor, there are certain places he would not enter. For example, if not for my mentors, there are certain recommendations that I ordinarily would not be able to get. There are some places I ordinarily would not be able to enter. But because this relationship has been established, clear-cut boundaries have been made, the power dynamics balanced, expectations spread over a period of time, everybody worked in that relationship, and in the end, everybody's happy. The mentor is transferring his know-how to the mentee, and the mentee is picking up the baton, as it were, and continuing the journey. In other words, both sides win. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Akeze. A lot of insight has been opened out as regards this mentor-mentee relationship, and the need for some boundaries to be set and the scope of work to be defined. We thank you for all of these informations that you brought to us this afternoon. Very quickly, because our time is gradually rounding up, and again, the audience will be coming in with some few questions any moment from now. But before then, I will just bring in Dr. Edwin. How can an academic identify the right mentor, especially where formal mentorship is unavailable? Dr. Edwin, sir.
Okay, I think that what you asked now is similar to the question I responded to earlier. And how can you identify a good mentor? If I get it right.
Yes, especially where formal mentorship is unavailable, sir.
Okay, where formal mentorship is not
unavailable. Yes.
Okay. What you do in that regard is you first of all identify the area you want to be mentored. You ask questions about people that have tried well in that area. Asking questions in that area will lead you to a direction on those that have excelled in that field that you can lean on their shoulder to see or to view the world. In doing so, it's just mainly about asking questions about people who are good in that area. I take myself, for example. When I left after my first degree, I needed to learn a particular trade. What I did was to, yes, ask questions in that area. Also, kind of also met somebody who is doing one or two things in that regard. I needed somebody to see me through that process to enable me achieve my goal in that area. The person told me, okay, it is an informal setting, not a typical academic setting. Now, sorry, I may have to come in, bring in this example. I went to that person. It's a trade that I went to learn outside academic circle. When I raised questions in that area, somebody told me, "Oh, I know one or two persons that is doing well in that area," and I was guided, and they led me to that person. I stayed with that person. When I got to that place there, I saw what they were doing. I raised some questions, and the response I got was completely in the area where I needed mentorship. And I plugged myself to that opportunity, went through that process of mentorship, developed good relationship with the people, and today I'm getting the benefit. It was through question, through passion that took me to that area to raise that question. Because if you know what you want, you know how to go around to get it. If on a lighter note, I was discussing with somebody one not too long ago. He said there is nothing you are looking for in this world in 24 hours. If that thing is actually what you want and you are desperately in need of it, in 24 hours, there is no way you will not meet somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that will take you to that place within 24 hours. He said you only need not more than 3 persons. If you ask 3 persons about a particular thing within a short while, you'll be led to a place where you will get that guidance or that support or that direction. That is just it in an informal sector. You just ask questions, relay with people, and you will be guided. But in a formal setting, where like in our academic system is always structured, oh, I am a professional, I want to major in this area. You just see people, area of people within that circle that you can easily flow with. But in an informal setting, you go through questions, you go through existing relationships that you have developed with people, family members, friends, and well wishers to be able to navigate yourself into an area where you need mentorship. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for that. Because now that we're also diving into the informal sector, is a good one because through the formal sector, it's quite easy because you can see your senior colleagues and begin. You know their areas. You can easily just float in along the line. But in the informal sector, you've also made us to understand that through questions, we could also be able to get what we want by also meeting people, and from there, we'll get what we want and we'll begin to now move in that line. Thank you very much, sir, for that. I want to also thank all the panelists for all that they have done today. We're indeed very grateful, and we thank you all for all the insightful information that you have brought to the fore. A lot has been said today, and all of this will also go along with also shaping our line of career. But before we continue, because we have just few minutes to go, we'll call on the audience at this moment now to now bring in to ask their questions. We have a few questions that will be thrown in from the audience. You can direct your question to any member of the panelists or make it general, then we'll send it to any member of the panelists to respond. We just have just few minutes to get this done. And if there are none, we'll just continue immediately so that will not take much of our time. So we're now in the question and answer segment. So the participant right now can now come on board and also now, share their views and ask their questions. Okay, we're looking at the recruitment process right now. He wants it to be more clearer in terms of mentor-mentee relationship, so that this could also help in our institution because you also agree with me that there are no clear-cut processes as regard mentor-mentee relationship in our institutions. Are there some formal recruitment process that needed to be followed to help guide this process, sir? Dr. Akeze, sir.
Okay. Like the questioner, the person who asked the question observed, it's true. There is no clear-cut process by which mentors or mentees are handed over to mentors. And so you have a situation where somebody just comes into the system, and if he decides not to reach out, he just starts to float and grow on his own. I think there are several things that can be done to help out with this. Now, one of the major reasons why the mentor-mentee relationship does not really exist in a structured form, in my opinion, is because it is not rewarded. You know, anything that's not rewarded in one way, shape, or form typically gets low patronage. So if, for example, there's a reward system for mentorship that the mentors get for mentoring young colleagues, I think that would help them in reaching out to these ones. By reward, I mean, for example, for us in the academia, our promotion is all about everything but mentorship. It's about your teaching hours. How many teaching hours do you have? It's about your publication. It's about the impact factor of your publications. How widespread is it? Your conference attendance. All this you get rewarded for them because it is part of the criteria for your promotion. But there's no such reward for mentorship. So I think if, for example, it's included into the promotion criteria in one way or the other, it will encourage senior academics to reach out to young academics. I know that typically it's expected that the mentee should reach out to the mentor. I want to become like this. I want to become like this. But we know that it's still not a bad idea for a senior mentor, a senior academic, to see a young academic who seems not to know his or her way and pick interest in this one. Now, if this thing is rewarded, there will be more of the senior academics who will be willing to take up this responsibility of mentoring these young ones. If it is rewarded by so with promotion, maybe reducing the course load a little. How many students are they supervising? How many courses are they teaching? If that is done, it will encourage these ones to take on this responsibility. And I also think that the formal academic system can also, in one way or the other, prepare a structured format, encouraging academics to mentor younger ones. Are you getting it? If it becomes a structural obligation, I think a lot more people will take it up, because the truth of the matter is that while the senior academics pick on some young ones, take on them and encourage them, there are still quite some academics that fall in between the cracks. These ones just go through like that. They are just going cut and nail, try and error, and somehow they make it to the top. And these ones, when this cut and nail, try and error, permit me to use that, try and error, they learn as they proceed. When they get to the top, they would not be moved, they will not be motivated to want to mentor others, because mentorship, you are giving what you received. Now, these ones did not receive anything, so there's hardly anything they will have to give. Now, if that system, if that proceeds, if you have people like this at the top, it's going to be a problem going forward. So I think we can structure it. It can be structured, it can be done, it can be rewarded in one way or the other. And then we'll have people who key into it and have them mentoring young ones and make them more resilient and widely known academics.
Okay. I will thank you specially for that. We already have one person hand is up. Alexis, we also have another question in our chat box. But before the question will come on board, let me just call on Alexis to please ask a question. Alexis, you have the floor.
Okay. Thank you, sir. As an undergrad student, I think from what I've been hearing, like throughout the meeting, this seems more tailored to maybe postgraduate students who would be working more directly with professors and people in the industry. But I wanted to ask, like, in terms of navigating mentorship, how can one approach someone for mentorship, especially when you're basically you may be asking for, I know it's been answered in one way or another during the workshop, but you're basically asking someone to sacrifice a lot of their time, their energy, and their effort, and it may not be guaranteed that you could pay them back. So, as in, how is there like a reward system or an offer that you can give somebody that you're approaching to be a mentor? Like, can you offer to maybe help them with one thing or another? Or how do you present an offer, like approach someone for mentorship and guaranteeing them, how can you guarantee that you're making their time worthwhile?
Okay, thank you for that question. I will direct your question now to Dr. Edwin. Dr. Edwin, are you still with us, sir?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, sir. I'll direct Alexis' question now to you, sir. She wants to know what kind of reward system. How will you be able to approach somebody to now be your mentor? How will you reward this person? Though she's viewing it from the undergraduate setting, but I know that everybody, whether undergraduate, postgraduate level, will need mentorship. Even while you are working, you still need mentorship. So mentorship is a continuous process. So even in a family, you need mentorship. In church, you need mentorship. In the mosque, you need mentorship. So it's a continuous thing. So, sir, is there a reward system for that? And how will you approach a mentor, sir? That's where she's trying. Those are the questions she's trying to find out from us, sir.
Okay, okay, good. What you're trying to ask now is like, I'll break it into two area. We talk about if we are in the academic system, we use this word mentorship more. If we are in the informal sector, we use more of apprenticeship. Do you agree with that, sir?
Yeah, very well, sir.
Madam?
Very well.
Yeah. In the academic system, we use that word more of mentorship. In the non-academic sector, the informal sector, we do more of apprenticeship. They all actually mean the same thing if you look at the general objective of the two. You want to learn something. You want to know what that person knows. You want to be able to stand on your own in future to respond to issue the way that person responds to issue, or if not better. You want to actually you like what that person is doing in the first case. You want to copy from it, you want to learn it, and you want to also, and it align with your life objective or with your area of expertise, or you want to develop a new area of expertise in that area. In that regard, if you are approaching it from the informal sector, what you simply do is to first of all identify the person, approach the person, just go ahead on. I have tried it, I have done it, it has worked well for me. I studied agriculture, my first degree. I saw some person practicing in the industry, which I went to meet them, walk through to them one on one to tell them, sir, I love what you are doing. Although the person is in the academic sector too, but he's practicing, there is a difference between when you are practicing and when you are teaching what you study. They are two different things. I went to meet that person. Please, I want to be able to do some of these things you do outside the classroom. The man looked at me and laughed. He said, okay, no problem. It's like, he said, carry your bag and follow me. Anytime he's going out to do one or two assignments, I followed him. The reward system in that regard is that just be a good person. I just adhere to the person's rules and regulation. You can actually not pay that person. You can actually not pay that person. Either reward him financially or in material ways or the other. You can actually not do that at a very large extent to satisfy that person. It is your attitude, your good behavior, and your ability to actually move on in life after you have associated with that person, practiced with that person for a while, and you are now successful to actually give that person joy. It's more of an emotional thing. It's not more of material reward. Once the person sees that you are doing very well and the person is happy and is proud to say, oh, that person is one of my mentee. I trained that person. That is the joy they get from me. And by so doing, he also build connection. And he's also living a part of what he learned, a part of himself on earth when he eventually finish his course on earth here and go. So, and he's also happy to also link one or two persons to you because I have done that. When I left school, I went to a place in Onitsha to learn a trade in the area of agro business. I studied agriculture. When I went to meet these people, I met this man. He already had like 8 apprentices with him. I was the most educated among all of them. The rest didn't go to school, but I did not allow my academic to declare my sense of reasoning and my behavior when I got to that place. In fact, they didn't know that I didn't go to school. I think I've shared this story in different fora. I brought myself to a level that I was the youngest. In the morning, I have to wake up to first start for everybody to take their bath and do everything before we leave the house for our warehouse where we work, where we do distribution and so on. So it's humility the pay you give to the people is good behavior. I went to meet this man. I signed a non settlement agreement with this man who didn't go to school. But this is me as a graduate. I just left youth service. It was my attitude I used in paying for the for the training I got from that place there. I stayed with them for almost 2 years. When I was leaving, it was towards the tail end of my exit that they knew that I was a graduate because of the way I comported myself, brought myself to a level that I could take anything, any instruction, so that I could actually grab the reason why I went to that place there. See, today, myself and that family, we are still in very good relationship. There is nothing I request for from them that I don't get.
Yes.
So it is the good behavior, your attitude, your humility, your ability to take instruction that you actually use in pay. I didn't pay the man anything. I did not pay him. In fact, I'm the one that even benefited more on that relationship. So these are ways you actually pay your mentor. It's your good attitude because everybody, I don't think there's anybody who will be unhappy to train somebody. If you train somebody and the person is doing very well, it makes you happy. It makes you happy as a mentor. Not that you have a relationship with somebody you are training or that is your mentee, you are having issue, they tell you, go to direction A. You said no, it's direction B that you go to. The person will just send you away. Nobody wants headache.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, Dr. Edwin.
Can I add something? Can I add to that, please?
Okay,
If you
please just go ahead,
will
but within a few minutes, sir.
yes,
Okay, very
in
short.
30
All right, go
seconds
ahead,
or
sir.
less, you'll be done. Yes, thank you. If for someone who is an undergraduate, you don't have a degree yet. So how do you make yourself attracted or attractive in quotes to a potential mentor? Whether we like it or not, there is always the what is in it for me. You as the mentee, you want the experience, but the mentor too would want something. You want to make yourself useful in quotes. For example, I'll give a personal example. I had a undergraduate student at the time. Our program is a 5-year program. So the moment they finished their year 4 and he was assigned to me, he told me clear up that he wanted to learn under me. Yes, he has been assigned, but he wants to give it a work. Now, this young man made himself very indispensable. He took charge of the animals on the farm. Yes, we have animal handlers on the farm, but he took charge. And for the period of 1 year, he was so indispensable that after he finished his project and he was going away, the lacuna that he's the void that his absence is going to create became very visible. The point I'm making here is you should have something you'll be able to offer to your supervisor, to your mentor. Some students are good with their computers, for example. Some students, as undergraduates, they have very good tech skills that your mentor may not have. Some students, as undergraduates, have fantastic use of data analysis or analytic softwares. You can pitch this to him. Sir, I can do this. I can run data analysis. I can interpret this. You see, that on its own will draw you to the mentor. So in this case, the mentor is giving you, and you have something in return. I would encourage all those undergraduates especially, make yourself useful. Have something that you too can pitch to your mentor to make him or her see that, yes, I have something to offer too, and not just receiving. If you do that, that in itself is a payment system or a reward system for your supervisor.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, you see that from Dr. Edwin and from Dr. Akezi, you see that from their experiences over the years, this is where answers are not coming from the question that you have asked. You've seen that whether formally or informally, these life experiences, you cannot get it anywhere. And all of these have worked for them. So this approach, again, they're also preaching to us today to also imbibe and see how we could use them and transform the way that we're doing things. So it's on that note, I'll move further to the next question on the chat box, which is from Hawa Abdurrahman. I said, good afternoon. Please, what are some signs of these predatory journals? And why is it that some seasoned lecturers find it difficult to assist upcoming ones? Sometimes senior lecturers don't want us to share useful information to colleagues. So this is a question that Hawa is asking. I will direct this question to Mrs. Justina Ma.
Predatory journals are just fraudulent and deceptive academic journals. They just specialize in prioritize in making money, or they don't maintain scientific quality or maintain research integrity. That's what that journal is talking about.
Okay, thank you so much for that. We'll move further right now because a lot has been said, but we'll move straight to the business of the so that we could round up as fast as possible. I want to thank the panelists once again for all that they've been doing, and then most especially the way and manner they've answered the question that has been put before them today, and also judging from their life experiences, bringing their experiences to the fore to also encourage participants on how to deal with some situation that is regarding mentor and mentee relationship, and how to also reward the process, because sometimes not every reward is monetary. Some rewards are in different form. All of these we are now aware of by virtue of the information that they have brought before us this afternoon. We thank the panelists once again. And as we round up, we have just one question to round up. Each one question for the panelists. And this one question will just need just 1 minute to each of the question. So the questions are as followed. What is one wish? What is your one wish for the future of academic mentorship in Nigeria and Africa? Dr. Akeze, sir.
Um, Thank you very much, Dr. Bright. My one wish for academic mentorship in Nigeria and Africa going forward is that mentorship takes or is given its pride of place. You know, mentorship should be imbibed or engraved into the system. Because truth be told, a lot of academics do not have mentors. And because they do not have mentors, they suffer the loss in time. So I wish and I hope that one way or the other, mentorship will be crafted into our system, maybe even giving it a reward. If you're able to mentor 1 or 2 persons over a period of time, this is the reward. Maybe promotional, it could be a certificate of acknowledgement, it could be anything. But I want it to be embedded into our system. We need it. We need it. That is the future of academics, mentoring.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much for that. I think that was very brief and straight to the point. The next question is, what is the one approach every effective academic mentorship relationship should foster? Mrs. Justin Ama.
Okay, the one approach is just a habit, as in a regular follow-up. That's the most approach that relationship owns between the mentor and the mentee. There should be a regular follow-up, what the mentor is expected to do and what the mentee is expected to do, and also be consistent. There also should be consistency and constructively challenged. That is my take on that.
Thank you so much, ma, for that, ma. The last question will be directed to Dr. Edwin, sir. What is one simple action academics can repeat regularly to build effective mentoring relationships, sir?
Okay. Yeah, one simple action they should invite to build effective mentoring relationship is just to, one, to be sincere in dealing with their mentee, to have a willing heart to lift their mentee above themselves, to give them opportunity to grow. Just sincerity from both ends. It's just sincerity. Just be open-minded if you are dealing with your mentee.
Okay, thank you so much for that, sir. I think that was very brief and straight to the point. There's need for sincerity and being open-minded when dealing with your mentee. At this moment, I want to, as we gradually bring this conversation to a close, it is clear that academic mentorship is not simply an added advantage, but it's something that is very, very important in the system because it helps us build a healthier institution and a more sustainable academic future. Because the future is what bothers each and every one of us. So I want to sincerely appreciate our distinguished panelists for generously sharing their experiences, insight, and practical wisdom with us today. Your perspective from your respective setting has greatly enriched this conversation. We're indeed very grateful, and we thank our audience as well for your active participation, for the questions that were rolling in, your suggestions, and your thoughtful engagement. Our commitment throughout the session, we appreciate all of these. To the members of the ACE community, we thank you all for your consistent support. and for your continuing to make Publish and Prosper a valuable platform for learning, growth, and academic development. We're indeed very grateful today to have every one of us on board. We thank our panelists sincerely for the justice that they have done to the subject matter today. Once again, I am Dr. Bright, and on behalf of the ACE community, I thank each and every one of you. And right now, I will now hand you over to Dr. Ido for the closing section of this discussion this afternoon. Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you, and God bless you all. Please just wait for the closing section where we'll have Dr. Ido to anchor some few information and also let you know some very key things that you ought to know, some of the gifts that will also go along with all of this today. Please, you will hear from him right away. Thank you for being with us, and we appreciate you once again.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm so excited, and I'm grateful for all our panelists and for the moderator and the coordinators, which Dr. Bright Motezo is sort of part of, that has been working behind the scene to ensure and make sure that this is a success. And for all the audience that joining us today, please don't go yet. We have a gift for you. I want to also appreciate you for being on board today. And I want to believe that you have learned a lot and you are living with practical steps that can shape your academic journey and begin to integrate mentorship, whether you are early career, mid-career, or the senior tenure. Find a way to integrate mentorship, learn from people that are above, and also coach, bring up people that are also coming up. Thank you all for being here. And one thing I would like to say is that we should also move ahead with this in our various institutions and let others know what the benefit of mentorship to our growth. And that is the major way we can grow collectively. Thank you. And I must say, this episode has been a career shifting experience. And I want to once again thank our panelists, thank everybody, and thank for the depth they have brought and even the vulnerability they have brought today. They shared their story and some of what many people around them are even yet to know about them. They brought it to the table today so that we can learn. Thank you so much, and I'm very grateful. And at ACE, we are very grateful. And now, the gift that we have for you, as you can see on the screen, we have a powerful resource material for research for you on the screen. You can just go ahead to that link. Can go ahead to that link. The link will be dropping in the chat room in a moment. You can go ahead to that link and download the resource material. It will be of a great help to you. And also, we usually have what we call AI Academia Weekend Mastermind. For you to be part of it, also, you can follow the link to register and join our utilization group so that whenever we are having the next one, you can be notified. And also, the replay of this conversation will be uploaded to our official YouTube channel so that you can have access to it. You can revisit it anytime you want. And the link to that channel also will be dropped in the chat room in a moment. And also, we are very grateful for today. And we are already making plans towards the next Publish and Prosper. This is the 5th edition, and we're already making plans ahead for the 6th edition. So if you have an area that you want us to dive into or you want us to discuss on, you can use the WhatsApp number on the screen to send us a message around that. I will be glad to have your input so that that can be of great help for us in preparing for the next episode of Publish and Prosper. So I want to appreciate everyone for being here. And the biggest gift that I have for you, which is a bonus for being on this conversation before you leave. And here's the thing: before you leave, finally, Here's the thing, one of the key challenges, there are two kinds of challenge in academia. And the first one is spending months writing a manuscript that could have been completed with a better workflow. And the second one is now discovering that the workflow that you can use easily exists after the we have already even completed the workshop. Now, the AI writing advantage for academics workshop is officially over. And what happened in that 2-day workshop exit every prior experience that the participants had. We completed the workshop with the participants sharing how the sessions. So like I was saying now, we have been receiving series of feedback as regard the workshop, feedback from scholars attending the workshop from across the world. And this is not because the participants discover something that they can just put a message there and write their message. Just because they discover something that is more valuable, they discover a reputable scholarly writing system. That is what exactly we shown them and practicalized for them in that workshop. A system for moving from research idea to literature synthesis to argument development to submission-ready manuscript and grant applications using AI strategically while maintaining academic integrity, transparency, and intellectual ownership. Yes, if you miss the live session, yes, you might have missed the experience of the live session, but I want to bet it with you that you have not missed anything because you have not missed the knowledge, you have not missed the discussion, and neither have you missed the demonstration and the implementation. That is why we are giving you a full access to the replay, day 1, day 2, and all the powerful resource materials that we gave to all participants. And now, these are the resource materials that you are going to be having access to. The first one is my paraphrase checklist, my scholarly writing ownership framework, my tested and satisfied AI prompting framework, and my writing quality assurance integrity. And for today, the value is 32,250 naira. And for being on this workshop, as non-ACE member, you have access to pay 21,500 naira, and as ACE member, have access to pay 16,500 naira to the account on the screen. And if you choose to pay via online, just use the link on the screen. We recommend the online payment so that you can be automatically redirected to your access to the replay. And this payment, the 21,500 naira for the non-ACE member and the 16,500 naira for the ACE member, instead of the 32,250 naira, this offer ends by 6 p.m. Saturday, August 15, 2026. Now, if you make your payment to the bank account, please endeavor to send us proof of payment, your full name and Gmail address through the WhatsApp number on the screen. And if your payment is directly through the online payment route, then you are going to be redirected to your access immediately. Thank you all for being here, and I'm grateful to have you all, and thank you for your quality participation. And until next time that we are going to be having you also on Publish and Prosper or on any of our programs, I want to tell you that keep publishing, keep prospering, and keep winning. Thank you all, and gracias. So, Dr. Bright.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for all the information. And we thank our panelists once again and all the participants. And at this moment, we want to say thank you for being part of this program. Until we see you again next time, same station. We thank you and God bless us all.